High on Life. I thought a lot about what I would say about this game during the intro to this video, and the only thing I can come up with is that it's really, really weird. This is the latest game from Justin Roiland's studio. He's the guy behind Rick and Morty, and that same humor is all the way through High on Life. It is outrageous, unapologetically weird, irreverent, and extremely polarizing. I know it's really common to just say like, oh, you'll love or hate this game. This is one of those games that you will love or hate. And you can see it in the reviews. It's pretty much getting like 9s or 8.5 out of 10s, or like 1s and 2s. Some people identify and enjoy this type of humor and this sort of irreverent banter that constantly goes on over the course of this game, and other people just don't. And that's okay. You're not like wrong for liking it or for disliking it, but I do think it reveals one of the major issues with the 1 out of 10 rating scale, because while some people just don't find this humor funny, and yet we're weirdly tasked with reviewing it, they're gonna give it like a 1 out of 10. But people who enjoy this type of humor, it's going to elevate their experience significantly, and so they'll give it a higher number. But the only major difference between those two reviewers is whether or not they enjoy this style of comedy. And that's unfortunately what's probably going to determine whether or not you should play High on Life. Now in this video, I'm gonna try to give you a little bitty taste of what you can expect in High on Life. It is a day one Game Pass title, so if you're already a subscriber to Game Pass, it doesn't cost you anything to just try it. You can even use something like xCloud if you have capable internet to just stream it without even taking the time to download it if you want to give it a shot. So I would recommend, if this piques your interest, check it out. I am thoroughly enjoying it, but we'll talk a little bit more about what it does well and what it does badly over the course of the video. So this is what happens in the opening moments of the game. Basically, we're at home alone with our sister when a crew of alien gangsters and cartel members come into our quiet neighborhood and start causing all sorts of trouble. And this is a great example of the kind of humor you can expect.
He's got that, what is it called? Dementia.
What's going on out here? Martha, is that you? Oh my God!
Oh my God. What did they just do to Mr. Pilfrey?
He ate him. He ate Mr. Pilfrey. That's what happened. And then they're gonna teleport out after killing that guy, and boom. Okay. And now we're gonna find the gun that you've seen in all the trailers that talks to us. That's right. It's an anthropomorphized gun that talks to you.
I'm free, thank God. What a nightmare. Listen, can you pull the inhibitor chip out of me? It's the metal thing stuck in me. Just pull it out.
What the fuck is that?
Yank.
Oh, that feels so much better. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about the spit. I needed to get you infected with the translator microbes. That's sort of how it works. I guess you guys don't have those here yet. Listen, my name's Kenny. I'm a Gatlian. We gotta move.
What is it? Is it talking to you?
Sure is.
Maybe we should go back to the house.
Ignore her. It's very important that you listen to everything I say. Okay, it is your lucky day right now. We can survive this together if you just listen to me. These G3 guys are gonna turn your whole species into drugs. Can you handle a gun? Because, you know, I'm kind of a gun, and if you don't use me to kill those G3 grunts, well, all right, first kill. I am so glad you picked me up. Let's keep going. Not bad, alien. Not bad at all. Let's head to that base.
Now, right off the bat, you can tell that this is a very dialogue-heavy game. The whole time you're fighting, the whole time you're exploring, there's dialogue going on where your guns are talking to you, the characters are talking to you, the enemies are talking to you. It's constant. And you know what? Honestly, some people don't like that, and that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong if you just don't like that kind of game. You would just prefer a solid FPS without all the filler of conversation and dialogue. That's totally fine. And especially if you don't connect with this style of dialogue, which is very ad-libbed and kind of freestyle, you're just not going to like the game. And that's okay. The great thing about Game Pass, though, not to sound too much like an Xbox fanboy, is that if you aren't sure if you like this kind of dialogue, you can just try it. You can just give it a shot. Why not? It's on PC, it's on Xbox, and if you like it, great. It could be one of your favorite games of this whole month, if not this whole year. And if you don't like it, then you know what? no big loss. Like, okay, well, I gave it a shot. It's just not for me, and that's okay. Now, I haven't finished High on Life. I've gotten close, but I didn't feel comfortable pumping out a review. They sent me a review code, but it was like, I think my count was 9 hours before the global launch, and I'm not the only one. Apparently IGN and GameSpot and those huge companies didn't get their review codes until the last possible second, which is always a little concerning. But in this case, it seems primarily to have been a result of the idea of inelastic demand, which is basically just the idea in marketing that your likelihood of purchasing a product is kind of like, it's not elastic. It's not affected by outside factors, such as in this case, review scores. People who are going to play High on Life are going to play it because of Justin Roiland's involvement, because of the wacky art style, the unique idea, and the fact that it's on Game Pass, so it doesn't involve an extra cost for most players who already have a subscription to it. So they don't really need to worry about review codes or review scores too much because people are already going to be playing it, you know? That's at least the general idea.
What just happened?
Looks like we made it.
Yeah, we made it.
Blim City.
We just made it.
Warp our entire
We
house?
warped to space, my sister.
We'll be safe here.
Watch this. This is our first exposure.
Space?
Yeah, welcome to fucking space.
Oh, look at that.
So this is Blim City. Not bad, huh? I don't know how we're gonna find Gene though. Let's just ask around. There's all kinds of aliens out here. Let's just ask. He is famous.
Now, one of the first things that we will see over the course of the first like hour or two is that you'll get access to these new weapons and abilities, such as Knifey or Knife, who's just like a crazy maniac character in the form of a knife, who's just out of his mind. Like just out of his mind. It's ridiculous. Like, I love it. So he also has a tether ability like this once he stops talking, which allows us to swing around levels very fluidly, and it actually is pretty solid. Now, in general, this game is not for like the hardcore FPS fan. I mean, looking at it, I would hope that you wouldn't expect it to be like a super intense first-person shooter, but for what it is, it's really, really fun, and almost more than I expected, because what it's offering is a solid FPS, probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10, just perfectly average FPS. But on top of that, it adds the writing and the outrageous dialogue and characters, and that for some people is going to add like 2 to 3 points onto the overall score. For other people, it might even subtract points because they just don't like this kind of comedy. And that's why you're seeing such a huge disparity between the different reviewers out there, because some of them add, 2-3 points for the dialogue and how they've written everything, and the other people that just don't like it will subtract 2 to 3 points, which is how you end up with that huge disparity. And while I have not finished the game yet, I actually have found myself really enjoying what is here. Yeah, see, the AI is kind of stupid at times where like they have to run down this ramp and then they can attack you. So if you're on the ramp, then they don't attack you. But little things like that, like, is that going to spoil the entire game for me? Personally, not. For some people, it might bug them enough where they just don't want to deal with it. But for me, I'm willing to look past that for sake of the writing and everything else. And then the knife starts begging to be used. And then in here we have our first boss fight. This is something that was shown off in the trailers and previews of the game, so this isn't really a spoiler. This has been out there for like 6 months, almost a year, I think. So I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything with this, but this is the first boss that you take on. Fairly simple. It includes a big focus on mobility because she has some attacks which require you to get off this platform and start swinging around. And see, you can juggle enemies just like this. And honestly, it doesn't feel bad. Like, I've seen some reviewers who are like, oh, the combat is utterly mindless. To be honest, I don't see that. I do think it gets a little stale with some like heavy reused enemies. Enemy variety isn't great, and they definitely fall victim to the trope of just taking an arena, filling it with dozens and dozens of enemies to pad out the gameplay time for that section. But I don't find it to be like super horrible. See, and then we swing around like this, doopy doop, while she does her thing. Zip around. Just buying time, and once she comes back to the platform, then we can jump back down. Then she's in her final phase where she's just freaking out, going crazy. We just stay mobile, and then we can drop down, and it's over. Voila, we beat our first boss, hooray! And this is the basic loop of gameplay. I mean, you're gonna be going through levels, fighting enemies, collecting some items that you can buy upgrades with, and then you're gonna move on to the next area and do the same thing until eventually you find a boss. And once you find the boss, then you've cleared that area, you go back and you move on to the next one. It's pretty straightforward, but each zone has a different theme, a different sort of artistic design and style to it. And it's just really a case-by-case basis as to what they have to offer. So I think the overall message of this is just, while this game is not for everybody, and this type of game will turn some people off, like not even just, no, it's not for me. For some people, it will just straight up turn them off and they won't be interested. But for others, it's going to be a really good time. And for me, I've really enjoyed it. And I am honestly, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Nope. Sure can't. Okay, well, so yeah, well, for some people, it's just not going to be for them and they're not going to enjoy it. Others will freaking love it. So if there ever was a game, or at least if there was a game this whole year that critics were very divided and where you were like, I really don't know who to believe, who to trust your gut on this. If it seems like you're going to find it entertaining and funny, give it a shot. Like, go get Game Pass for $15 or $10 on console. I think Ultimate is 15. I'm not sure. But go get Game Pass. Give it a shot. If it's awesome, you'll be very glad you gave it a shot, despite the occasional one-off bad review. And if you don't connect with it, or if you find the guns annoying and you just don't like the dialogue, cool. Like, just, you know what? You tried it. You gave it a shot. This is the perfect game for Game Pass when it's so polarizing within critics. Just give it a shot if it seems interesting. If you're one of those people that just finds this dialogue super annoying, just move on. Like, don't even bother. But if it seems like it could be fun, give it a shot and you might be pleasantly surprised. All I can say is that I'm having a really good time. And right as I finish recording this video, I'm going to jump into my later save and I'm going to finish the game for myself because I'm really enjoying it, though I can fully acknowledge that this is not for everybody. At the time that I'm recording this, I haven't heard anything about like performance issues or things like that. I did get notified that there's a huge day one patch coming that's going to fix a ton of bugs and glitches that have been present during the review process. I will say I have not encountered any of the bugs that they listed in the like full page document that they sent me of known bugs. So your mileage may vary, but as of right now, I haven't encountered any. And when I'm recording this video, I haven't heard anything about major problems on other consoles or platforms, but who knows? Maybe I just got like really lucky. I don't know. But once again, Game Pass, you can just try it. It's another one of the wonderful things about that service. And I hope that PlayStation starts to actually take notice and bring some major titles to their platform on day one, because with Xbox, it's just not even close. As far as what's best for consumers, without a doubt, Game Pass is bringing the best offering on the table. And a game like High on Life is a great example of when that is extremely useful for players and for the company alike, because if you enjoy the game, you're going to try it when you might not have before. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you for watching and chilling with me. I want to hear if you're actually going to be playing this because I'm genuinely interested. This game got like no hype, no media, no press. I'm very intrigued to hear if you're going to be giving it a shot. So let me know in the comment section below. I'll be looking out for those. Also, a heads up, we got a massive video on God of War Ragnarok coming out, so make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of when that goes live. But with all that said, I'm going to keep playing. Much love to everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.